I don't know if I made a decision to be a Buddhist. It was a gradual accumulation of little events. I've been meditating for years, but I wasn't doing it to be part of a religion. It was something I was doing to cope with stress. I heard that it might help. Now I have a new purpose to go with my habit. While it still changes the course of my days, it is calming and does help with stress. But I'm doing it as part of my Buddhist practice. When I first came to the practice of Buddhism, I was swept up in the solitary nature of meditation. I waited for a time when I could be alone. I closed the door. I meditated every day by myself. And I wasn't thinking that I was engaged in a solitary activity. I was just doing it. Now that I am doing an exercise of writing about it is turning me on to that reality. Now I see that was one part of the dynamic of meditation and of my approach to Buddhism. I am flying solo, oneness. As I write this, I feel silly because it is so obvious. Meditation for me is probably what it is for many people. There's a battle going on. I have to force myself to focus. It might be distraction or just my ordinary flow of thought interfering with my ability to meditate. Now that I've been doing it for a while, it is still that way. Nothing has changed. The only difference is that I'm used to doing it. I expect to have that challenge. Meditation doesn't increase my sense of aloneness, even though it is a solitary act. I am not aware of being by myself because I'm concentrating on the task. By being part of this group, I have shifted. I have comrades, friends that I look forward to being with. And through readings in Zen Pathways and our Sunday gatherings, I have become aware that I was wrong, or rather incomplete, in my understanding of what Buddhism is. I hadn't considered the interconnectedness. And I started looking at that, what it meant to me, especially my connection to the people in our Sangha. On page 112 of Zen Pathways, it says, "Nothing comes about or has its being on its own. Everything is empty of own being. All things are interconnected. All inter-are." The term Zhangji, which means mutually to be. In other words, it means that things that seem to be separate and even opposed to each other, in fact, mutually belong to one another. There are three marks of existence: impermanence or incessant chance, no self, egolessness, and suffering or existence, unease. When a loved one dies, the book talks about when a loved one dies. And it's been 10 years since my daughter Vida died. The interconnectedness. I am still connected to her. I talk about her at least once a day or write about her in my journal. I think about her and what she might be doing if she was still around. I still feel grief. It hasn't diminished. This week, a friend of mine died. He had a form of brain cancer, and he knew he was dying. His long decline was similar to Vita's, and I was living through two persons' experiences, his and hers. So, the anticipation of the event, the people around them not knowing what to say, not knowing how to act, hanging around people you were closest to, getting quiet, not talking, withdrawing, not taking chances, not starting anything new.